Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's their time and bandwidth. Today's game is Macross Shooting Insight. The Macross series has a rocky history when it comes to getting video games overseas. Was Shooting Insight worth the wait? Let's find out. Macross Shooting Insight is a Macross game finally out over here, since some of the best like the PS3 Macross 30 and Vita game never made it. It's a hybrid shmup with vertical, horizontal, and third-person sections across its runtime. The game has essentially 4 modes: Story, Arcade, Boss Rush, and Duel. Story lets you pick one of 5 Macross pilots from across multiple series, except the original, and the story smashes them all together to defeat a big bad. It's frankly not all that interesting, but it is nice they mix up some plot points in stage order based on who you pick, and all the ships play differently. Either way, there's 10 stages to blast through that vary 8 gameplay modes. You have your standard vertical and horizontal shooting, as well as some sections where you have 360 control of your weapons. There's also odder stuff like a semi-open control section where you have to hunt down platforms and blow them up, as well as some misguided third-person Space Harrier style shooting. Your kit is overall pretty basic. You have a standard shot, which upgrades via pickups from killed enemies, but your core kit is missiles, which you aim with the right stick to lock. Kills with missiles increase multiplier while regular shot does not, but lots of enemies are faster than the missiles, so it's a push-pull between destroying enemies or score chasing. You also have a rechargeable bomb and a short dodge. Another trick is destroying signal jammers in the stage will eventually allow one of the female characters to sing you a song. This essentially just adds a filter over the screen, but also a temporary boost, like more damage, faster speed, etc., until that song runs out. You also can't pick the song as assigned by stage. Each stage has a boss, though several are recycled, and they range from the usual small duels to large spectacles. Story, Arcade, and Boss Rush are self-explanatory, but Duel is interesting as you fight various villains and their ships from the Macross series, and these one-on-one fights are quite challenging. Lastly, there's plenty of unlocks from items and stages to art from all the shows, among other things. And really, that's Macross Shooting Insight, a fairly basic shmup, but hey, it's a Macross game. So what I like about Macross Shooting Insight? Well, the hybrid modes as well as the missiles versus shot mechanic is solid enough, even though the fact you can't swap ship forms at will is disappointing for a Macross game. Additionally, the variety of modes here is great, especially that unique duel mode, which I am pretty bad at, but it's a neat addition and lets you recreate exciting fights. And lastly, the game has lots of improvements in accessibility from the Japan version, including easier modes, regenerating health, and infinite restarts for story mode. It's good for players like me who enjoy starting on easy and then ramping it up as I learn the game's tricks. When it comes to the bad, this game has big visual noise problem. Not only do many stages make it difficult to tell what is or isn't on the plane where you can shoot it, but when the songs kick in, the screen glows the same color as bullets, causing unfair hits, and the UI blocks ships along the edges. It's very clumsy. Additionally, the levels themselves are frankly dull, even on harder difficulties. They all feel very samey, and it doesn't help that the story built around it is trying for a word count while being completely uninteresting. And lastly, there's just lots of little annoyances that add up quickly. Dodge has a poor animation and on a cooldown that isn't clear. Bomb has a near half-second delay after you press it, making it worthless for panic saves. Arcade mode doesn't have continues. There's no characters from the OG Macross series, just bad choices. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, and don't bother. And Macross Shooting Insight isn't awful, but it is mediocre at best. The stages aren't well designed or particularly interesting. The story mode is bland, and while it has lots of modes, none really stand out. Added bonus is it's a Macross game where you can't swap forms freely and costs $40, making this a game I can't even recommend to Macross fans. Macross has such video game potential, and good ones have come out in Japan in the past, and the show's finally available on Hulu, so let's bring some better games over, huh? That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Have you seen the Macross show? Have you, like me, imported some of the previous Macross games? Please let me know what you think in the comments, but regardless, go out there and probably miss Macross Shooting Insight.